All right. So, how do you think that you have grown professionally by being a part of this collaboration team? I know what I can say personally, what I feel confidently about is that I've seen significant growth in not only myself, but of each and every one of our collaboration team members. As partners in collaboration, I believe that we all grew because we were pushed outside of our comfort zones. Would you
Mhm.
agree?
Definitely.
Yep, most
Yeah.
definitely.
I think our willingness to adjust really allowed for us to wear several different hats and gave us the opportunity to add new tools to our leadership toolbox. How do you feel that you have personally grown professionally?
Now, personally, I can say that I've grown because prior to the implementation plan, I didn't have any experience with the new reading intervention program. Being completely transparent, I didn't initially feel comfortable being the support for teachers during the implementation process for a program that I was unfamiliar with. However, I felt supported by the team. Thank you. And I stayed committed to the process. I took advantage of the training opportunities. And I also did additional research to ensure that I understood the ins and the outs of the program.
Yes, and I'm very proud to be able to say that by the end of the school year, that you did not only a great job learning and teaching our new teachers about the new program, but that you were recognized by the district as being an instrumental part of its success. So
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
Makes me
everything
feel
that you
so warm and fuzzy.
You should. You should. How about you, Mrs. H? How have you grown professionally?
Well, as a special education teacher, I've experienced in creating individual educational goals for exceptional students. However, I wasn't very familiar with analyzing the data from the district's assessments and aligning the data with the TEKS. But I am happy to say that at the end of the project, I became support um, I'm sorry, not became support, but because of the support I received from a phenomenal academic dean, I felt confident in analyzing the data and from the assessments. And then I figured out what standards my scholars were struggling in and what standards I needed to reteach.
Yes. And you did an exceptional job doing that. Thank you
That's awesome.
for your commitment.
Well, I'll just have to add that prior to this project, I would have to honestly say that I just wasn't very proficient in creating presentations. However, by the end of the project, with your support, I feel very confident in creating professional presentations and agendas, as well as actually facilitating our PLC meetings.
Yes, and you did an amazing job, Mrs. M,
Thank
um, of facilitating our
I appreciate
PLC
that.
meetings.
I
You
really do. Thank you.
you all were played such an instrumental part in the process. Um, let's go further. How do you think how will the feedback from our team members influence your work with other colleagues when building a collaborative team in the future? I know one of the pieces of feedback that was given to me was that the timeline wasn't unrealistic. And I'll have to say, I totally agreed with that feedback. To be completely honest and transparent, as Mrs. L, used earlier, it really did cause quite a bit of stress for team members, including myself. That I think that it could have been avoided.
I'm in total agreement. In addition to that, I would say that from some of the feedback that was given, one of the biggest things that stood out for me was that the goals they were not achievable. I mean, this process helped me to fully understand the importance of setting realistic, attainable goals that are aligned with a practical timeline.
Definitely. I absolutely agree.
Mhm.
People need to feel as if they are accomplishing and meeting goals. So I would say moving forward in future projects, I will be intentional about creating more realistic goals with smaller objectives, which
Mhm.
will allow for the team to celebrate big and small accomplishments and to really stay on schedule.
Oh, great
I
point.
agree.
Great
Yes.
point.
I agree.
Okay, so how did the creation of the collaborative team serve as a vehicle for positive change in our school culture? For me, I would say that I think the creation of the collaborative team served as a positive change for our school culture because it created
Mhm.
leadership opportunities for teachers on our campus. I really believe teachers were empowered to use their professional experience and knowledge to collaborate and support our team and campus toward our goals.
And most definitely, I agree. I believe that the climate and the culture of the school being sets the tone for educational excellence, and positive school culture is developed when there is standards set and the expectations for all staff and students are met.
Yes, Mrs. H. I totally agree. I think that our focus was definitely on our main goal of improving students' reading proficiency
Mhm.
by implementing a reading intervention program that aggressively focused on closing those reading deficits. However, I would also say that as a collaboration team, we discussed the importance of creating a school culture that celebrates reading. Would you all agree? And if so, how would you say we accomplished that?
Mhm.
I definitely agree with that. To help in our quest to create a school culture of reading, I think one of the things that we decided to do was to host literacy events that would get our parents involved and really get our students much more engaged in the reading process.
Yes, the book theme events, they were very popular with our students and our parents.
Mhm.
Every month, we worked with our PTA, our librarian, and our community engagement liaison to transform our school into different themes. I remember one night we had a mystery night book theme where we had the students and the parents involved in solving a special mystery by decoding secret messages at a series of stations. I think our parents enjoyed that event more than our students.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I agree. Right. And one of my favorite book themes event was our Polar Express Winter Wonderland theme.
Oh,
Right. Our PTA, the community liaison, did an amazing job transforming our school library into a winter wonderland, and our parents and students were excited. They were their PJs, and they had hot cocoa stations. There was popcorn, and of course the book was read aloud. The Polar Express book was read aloud, and then after the book was read aloud, we had a movie night in the cafeteria to watch the Polar Express movie. So that was a very enjoyable night for
It
yeah.
was. It
not
was
only me and the other students.
definitely. We received so much positive feedback from that from both the parents and the students.
Mhm.
And this really gave us an opportunity to connect with our parents. And it really helped to create that sense of community that we really desire to have.
Yeah, yeah.
And another thing that was suggested during one of our collaboration meetings was creating a school-wide, year-long reading challenge with a goal of reading 1 million minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded
Mhm.
like a crazy goal at first, but based on the number of students we have on our campus, the 1 million minutes broke into each of our students reading 30 minutes a day.
Yes, yes. I totally agree. This was a great way that we were able to get students engaged and excited about reading. And we also involved our parents by creating a reading log for parents to sign each night. The
Mhm.
students were especially excited about the reward of taping our principal, Dr. Morgan, to the
Yeah.
All right.